He stood in my doorway like he owned the air between us. Same leather belt that is to leave marks. Same crooked jaw clenched with authority. But his eyes, they weren't the same. They were pleading. "I just think," he said, eyes darting past my shoulder, "since you have more than enough space, maybe your sister could." I didn't let him finish. "Not yet." I turned slowly, letting the silence stretch like wire between us. She was behind him. My half-sister, his real family, the one he built after he was discarded. My voice was calm. "So let me get this straight. The son you kicked out at 16 is now your only hope because your real daughter flunked out of college and burned through your money." He blinked twice like the word slapped him harder than I ever could. He didn't know what I'd done? Not yet. He didn't know who took his place. I used to wait for his headlights through the blinds. I'd sit in silence while my stepmother told him lies, twisting my words, rewriting my actions. One time I left a dish in the sink. She said I cursed at her. He didn't ask questions, just raised his voice and his hand. "You're not my blood," she whispered once. "You're just a reminder." I was 15. By 16, I had a bag at the door and a bruise on my cheek. He didn't even look me in the eyes when he told me to leave. I slept in my friend's car for 3 nights, then a couch, then a storage room behind a diner where I worked for scraps. I never cried. I stored it like a cold file in the back of my mind, labeled when the time comes. The betrayal wasn't just the lies. It was so easily he let me go. But that wasn't the end. 5 years later, I built something from ash. Worked 2 jobs, learned about contracts, property, equity, bought my first duplex by 22. By 26, I owned 5 properties in 3 cities. Quietly, no social media, no contact. They didn't know I'd become everything he swore I'd never be. Until a letter came last month. No return address, just a shaky signature. Dad said he was sorry, that things got twisted, that maybe we could talk. Almost ignored it. But then I found out why he reached out. Their house was foreclosed. My stepsister totaled her car and owed 40 grand in credit cards. My stepmom had health issues, which probably meant another lie. Suddenly I was useful. Suddenly I was family. I didn't respond. I planned. Step 1, I bought their debt. Every piece quietly through a third-party holding company. Step 2, I hired someone to pose as an investor and offer them a lifeline, a loan just enough to breathe. They took it, of course, signed without reading the fine print. Step 3, I waited until today, back to the doorway. He shifted on his feet. "It's just a room, son. Your sister's got nowhere to go." And nodded slowly, my eyes never leaving his. A room like the one I begged for. He had the nerve to flinch. I turned and picked up a folder from the table, tossed it at his feet. He bent down, opened it. His face drained. "What is this?" "Deed transfer, lien documents, your foreclosure notice." I met his eyes. "I own everything under your name now through a proxy. You sold it to me and didn't even know." He stammered. You tricked us?" "No," I cut in. "You ignored me for 10 years. You believed every lie she told, and you never came looking. You let a 15-year-old rot." He looked at my sister. She wouldn't meet his gaze. Then I said it. "She called me. Your wife 3 months ago." His eyes widened. "She wanted money. Said she'd tell you I was blackmailing her if I didn't pay." He stepped closer. I recorded it. "Want to hear?" He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. I leaned in quiet and slow. "You didn't lose your house because of me. You lost it because you trusted her more than your own blood, and because I learned how to use the same system you threw me into." His shoulders slumped. "I'll give you a deal," I said. "You have 30 days to vacate. After that, I file for eviction." My sister finally spoke. "Please, we didn't know." I looked her dead in the eye. "You knew, you just didn't care. You watched me leave with nothing. And now you want something." It paused. Let the silence swallow them. Not a single inch. They left without another word. No threats, no tears, just silence. I stood there after the door shut, the weight of 10 years peeling off my chest like old skin. I didn't feel joy, just clarity. This wasn't revenge, it was restoration. Justice done insolence. He found out who took his place. Me. Not by force, not with fists, but with precision and patience. Because sometimes the best way to win is to let them walk into the trap you built from their own mistakes and never offer a hand when they fall.